guys, welcome back to Building with Golang Part 2. This is Melvin Davis from Coding Bits. So, in this episode, we'll complete building the API that we started in the last video. So, in the last video, we created a backend API. If you hasn't watched that video, just go ahead and click on that video. The link will be given somewhere in this video. It will always be provided in the description. Then, in this video, what we'll be doing is we'll be connecting to database and we'll be talking to database. We'll store this user data and stuff like that, and we'll try to finish as much as possible in this. So let's go ahead. So what we'll be doing is we'll be connecting to PostgreSQL for this particular tutorial series. So Postgres.com. We'll be using Docker to install Postgres in our system. It's very easy to install Postgres using Docker and easy to remove that also. So there won't be any static files here and there in our system, making it harder to remove it or stuff like that. So what we'll do is we'll use Docker Compose to do our development. For that, what I'll do is I'll step one step backwards and start a VS Code in that. You can see the parent directory of user service. In here I will create a Docker Compose. First up, YML. The idea is that towards this tutorial, if we add more services like Redis and stuff, it will be easier to add it here in this Docker Compose, and with just one command Docker Compose up, the whole platform will be up, and so like the developer need not install all these things in his local. Okay, I'll just go here. Few more things that before that I'll just move this right here. Okay, then Postgres user is required. I'll go ahead and Postgres. Here also we'll give the same Postgres, and we'll need the DB name. Postgres, instead of Postgres, we'll give them building with Go. Building, let's go with Golang, and we have to provide the ports. We'll give the ports as 5432. So basically 5432 is the default port of Postgres, and we'll map that port to the Xpost port. So that should be it. I'll just do a Docker Compose up. Sorry, Docker Compose up. So hopefully the DB will start running. So it is attaching the DB. Let's just wait for that. Okay, let's check the Docker. So yeah, I can see DB1 is up and running. Then I'll do one thing. I'll just stop it. I'll start Docker Compose start. Okay, so that should be it. I'll just close this editor. Okay, now we have to connect to database. To connect to database, there are a bunch of drivers available for Postgres. And what we'll be doing is we'll be using an ORM called GoORM, which is an ORM written in Go to connect to this. GoORM supports multiple databases like Postgres, MySQL, MS SQL, SQL Server, stuff like that. So we'll just use that. So this is the GoORM. If you want, I leave the link to this in the description. So I just copy this and go to user service. I will install this in our Go mode file. The dependency should appear. Yeah, it did. Now I'll install. I have to connect to Postgres. This is the Postgres, so I have to install this also. Go ORM driver Postgres. go again, minus u. Okay, this is also installed, so I'm done with that. Now I'll use this particular code to connect to it. Oops. So I'll go to this context. I will say func init database and do this. Now few things I need to provide the config, like the host and your username, password, all these things. This need to be provided, so we will provide through config. Okay, cnf config, and it will return go orm database, orm.db comma error, in case if it was not able to connect to database. And one more thing, so config need to have the database configuration, so we'll go here, we'll add the same. So for this I'll add a new data structure, database struct, host string, port string, and I'll add user string, password string, and name, db name string. Again we load this in the configuration database, and we'll do the initialization here. Database equal to database, and host equal to, instead of localhost we use 127.0.0.1, and port as I'll do 5432. Later part we'll load all these things from the configuration file or from env variables. User is Postgres and password is Postgres, and the name is building Golang. Okay, so that should do it. We'll go here, and what we will do is dsn equal to fmt dot as printf host percentage s percentage s password percentage s db name percentage s port again percentage s. We don't need time zone, since for this particular example we don't need a time zone, but if you are building a service that you need to have a specific time. For example, I'm building a software that is going to run in a maybe in stock market, where the timings need to be perfect. Like if I'm running a stock market data maybe out of NSE, then the time should be based out of India. So similar to that. So if you're dealing with such systems, make sure you give the correct time zone. Okay, so it has given suggested me a bunch of stuff. So I wrote, so you can see the code was what you said suggested by this particular editor. Actually this is done by Copilot does a bunch of stuff for you, so there is an advantage using Copilot. I'll return db comma you might be thinking why I left like this. I could have written directly I could have written the return statement right here, instead of I choose to write here. So there is a reason. We'll come to that in later point of time. Okay, so now we are able to connect to database. Okay, we'll run this init database somewhere around here. Okay, and so db comma array equal to you. Init database is init config is returning conf. Okay, pass this, and I will add the database connection here. db must be orm.db equal to nil, return error. Okay, and what I'll do is that db should be db, so that should do it. I'll try to run this application. Go run main.go. So it says port initialize and it is able to connect to database. So that's really good. Now we have database connection. Now we have to talk to database, like basically need to store user models and all. For that we'll create the models. Oh, there's already models. Oh, it's empty. Okay, fine. I'll just create a new file here. We'll name it user.go package models. I'll give a data structure type user struct and id. Okay, we'll use a GoORM's model, yeah, and we'll give names, listen, and email. Okay, we don't need this actually because we'll be using the API configuration in DTO model rather than this actual model. So it's always a good idea to split your models from, that is used in application from the models that you are communicating to other APIs. You call it DTO, okay, data translation type, because it gives you the flexibility of using what kind of model, like whatever models you want to use in your code, and also it would become explicit while exposing the data points, fields in your data to the external APIs and all. So that's advantage. Okay, now what we will do is we'll create helpers. Okay, there's already one created here. I will create a file called user.go in this package db. Okay, and what I will do is func get user details. So what it will do is it will give me a bunch of stuff. We don't actually need this, so we will we need a user context. So ctx app context, sorry, not user context, app context, user id should be uint, and what we'll do is we'll do this part. Okay, now error should be ctx.db dot something wrong. I'll just do. Okay, it should be config.context, so that should do it. Now user equal to models.user, then model equal to, okay, so that's it. And what we'll do is ctx.db dot first user error and return. So this should be models.user return user comma error. There's some issue here. I'll just check. It should be type model user packages models. What's the issue here? Yeah, so that should do it. What's the error? Okay, I think I can remove this, so that should do it. And also we will create one more help function to create user again ctx config user model error. So that should do it. Okay, Now we have DB helper functions to write the data to the database, but we need a DTO to write the user model, like convert whatever API fetches this data from the client side using this DTO layer, and we'll convert DTO layer user model to the actual user model. Then we'll use this helper function. So here we'll drop one more file called user.go package DTO type user start. So we can decide what office we actually want to go ahead and give. So we can have ID, name, email, and password. So that's all details we want to actually we actually want to expose. So if you look at the user model, you can see a bunch of other details also. Like in the model, there is one, what you say, you can see the created it, updated, deleted it. So for my specific case, I don't think these data is actually required, but maybe it's at some point we might need, like updated it, created it. So we'll do it that way. For now, we'll just use this. And also for this user, we also need to write a conversion function. Okay, fine. Yeah, func user to get model, which returns models dot user. Then I will do return models dot user, in which model equal to dot model where id equal to u.id, where here it should be id and it should be u8. Oh, there is no password. I missed this. Okay, id. Then and also we'll do as conversion for name, where you name, and email, email. So these things are done, and if a small thing is remaining in the init db, if we go into config and context, you have seen we have created this particular this particular model. Now we have to init this model. So this is the use case that I was talking earlier. Like here I'll have to auto migrate. So basically what auto migrate does is that it will create the user table for us if it is not existing. Okay, then we'll do a bunch of stuff. If internal, so here we'll keep a log cnf dot logger dot error connecting to database. Okay, config. Okay, here we need, instead of config viewer, I think I will provide ctx app context. So here instead of so I'll just do one thing, cnf, replace it with ctx dot config, replace this, I replace this. Then here what I'll do is I just do ctx dot logger. So that should fix it, and I would do a auto migration. Okay, so db dot auto migrate and models dot user. So that auto migration is also done. I'll do just like this. We have to, it also returns an error. Okay, error. So let's do this thing, and here error. So this is the way we handle error in Go. So sometimes people might developers find it a bit tricky, but yeah, this is the way you do it. But it's clean. That's all I can say. And the automation done. So that's one error. What's the error? so it should be app context, right? Okay, so it actually should be the app context. Now comes the tricky part, but we can't give the app context here because it's not fully set yet. Then we'll do the conf itself. My bad. Okay, so instead of this I'll provide cnf itself, replace config, and here and also provide the logger as standard type is loggerers.logger, and we'll replace it tx.logger with logger. So that should do it. So it should be cnf comma logger. So that's correct. Oh, I missed a dot. So this should be cnf. Okay, so this is good to go. Now we have the database and auto migration, all these things ready. Now I have to find a way to connect all these to the API handler, because now we have a model. Model does the auto migration, and we have a helper function to write this to DB and fetch data from DB. Now we have to connect this helper function to the routes. So here what I will do is now have to parse this stuff, and we'll go to fiber documentation. Fiber documentation, I'll just go here, and so here let's check what to do. Parse the body. Is there a body stuff? Context body parser. So this is how we parse the body, right? Okay, we can parse the body to get the DT of user. Then we create one more form called create user context. So instead of new person, I'll do dto.user, I'll do and dto.user u, and body parser I just give u. Then now we have the user model. Now what we'll do is we'll call the database helper function. That we'll do helpers dot, okay, it called some other helpers. Okay, helpers dot, what was the function name? It was create user. Helpers dot create user. Now okay, so we can do something like u dot get model. So that should do that part, but now there is a bigger issue, right? So if I go here, you see, okay, I'll just do an okay, yeah. So now you see there is one more parameter required, that's the that's app context. How are we going to give the app context? So we can give app context like this. So if we go here, there is a bunch of stuff that need to be done, like there is something called groups where we can have middlewares added to that. So those things we are going to do, and to the middleware we'll add the user app context. So Fiverr provides something called set user context. In the set user context function, we'll be adding the app context, which can be retrieved from the handler. Okay, now we'll go here in routes. So the bunch of stuff that we need to do is we have to group the handlers. So how are we going to do that? The first things first, so this need to be version specific. So right ahead, I'll go ahead and create a version here. I just create a new file called version.go package config type version, which is a string, and const v1 equal to version equal to v1. Okay, cool. Now in the config, what I'll do is I'll add a version config. Yeah, and here I'll do version equal to v1. Cool. Now in this routes, you can see I already have this app context here. Now I have to use to we need to pass it basically. Yeah, then we'll first we'll group stuff. So with context equal to app dot group. So this is the one, and handler. So how are we going to do this? We just go here, group handlers. Yeah, you just copy this, instead of this, set c dot set user context. So to set user context, we have to provide user context. So what I will do is ctx dot c dot context. It provides a context with okay, we use the context package itself. Background with value. So we have to pass the parent context. So we'll do c dot user context comma. Now we have to pass the key and the context. So here what we'll do is we'll go here, and in the context we'll have a function to create the key. No, we just get a key and context key equal to struct. Okay, then we go here, config context key. We pass the context here. We pass the context. Now we'll group it with version. We use a version router. So version router equal to with app context and group we do. Okay, in the version we'll also provide one more stuff. We'll give func version string v, then okay, here in the routes group v dot version, sorry, ctx dot config dot version dot dot. There's something wrong. Over, but did we add a? It was added in the config, right? Yeah, version. So it's in the config. Routes. Version dot string. Okay. Now we'll add the version string. We'll set the version. Okay. Shell router. Or we can do better. We don't need to do this kind of stuff. Yeah, fine. Version router dot get, or we do the put as okay. It should be get as user, then router dot put as create user, and in the user we'll fetch the app context ctx equal to c dot user context dot value, where we do config dot app context key, and here we give this, and okay, here do. If not okay, then we just scream out loud. So we would do return 0 this one. So what was the error? So we are using error and code. Error should be new found, and error code should be http and we use the context here. Oh, we used the model after context. My mistake. And if error is not equal to nil, we we'll just do a server here. Body not good, so we'll do in this see this we'll bad request. So that should do it. Let's try to run this up server. Okay, just test this. We'll create a new function. Okay, first okay, so fetch user data works. Now I'll add one more request. Add new request. New request should be create user. It should be put http server. We need a body which is what to say. Oh, is there a way to add what I say? No, there is no way. Okay, here I will add row instead of text JSON, name Davis, and email height Let's try. Method not allowed. It should be put. Okay, what did I do in the router? The routes. Oh, it is post. That's why. I just restart the server. Okay, it works. Now I just do send. Okay. Oh, it worked. Okay, cool. Oh, nice. Then we just verify if it works or not. We'll go to user details. We'll just look how to do the routing part, like providing the what you say wildcard routes. So yeah, this is what okay, this is how you do it. Okay, user colon id. Okay, fine, cool. Then I'll do colon user id, and I'll just go here, user id equals user ID. So this is what we have given here, right? No, this is what we give. Okay, now in the helper function, what does it use? Get user details, user id. Okay, cool. Now I go here, db dot get user details. We will provide the ctx and user id. So for getting the ctx, I have to do this part. Okay, so user id should be okay int. Now I have to try to parse the user id. Okay, user id params. Oh, this is nice. This is really nice. So it gives error also. And we'll do this part, bad request. Not equal to nil, and just give the bad request part. Yep. Then use the user id. It should be uint. Okay, I just try to run this, and in here in the fetch user details, I would do v1 user /1. Hopefully, oh, what did it do? Okay, user details. Oh, sorry, my mistake. User error user. Again, we'll just copy paste this part. No, start to set. So one thing we just log this error, but we won't actually print this error. So ctx.logger error log this error, but we say we do something like errors.new fetching data from db. The reason is that if I'm trying to send the exit error from db, then our clients will be getting the exit error that we got from db, so which is a security vulnerability as also a bad user experience. That's why we will provide a different error, but we'll log the same. Okay, let's run it. Okay, cool. We have the data. In the data we have a bunch of fields. Now there comes hard part. Like here I written all these which should be masked using the DTO. So we'll do one more stuff. DTO will func from user model, which takes an argument as user model and returns user ID. Wow, that just worked well. I'll just use in the user API. DTO Yep. And also here we'll use this same stuff. We do okay. Do and we'll do the same stuff here also. Instead of returning null, we just return the user model that does not create it. And we restart the server. Okay. Yeah. Now we get only those that's required, and also in the creation part, I'll just save this. In the creation part, I'll do Melvin Davis. Yeah, man. Okay, so I got the ID also. So that's the best part of it. For this video, we'll just stop right here, and next video we'll complete rest of the APIs and do the stuff. So that's all for this tutorial. Thanks guys for joining in. Have a nice day. Bye.